But now tell me a little bit more about what you're going to be doing at Word Up. I mean, we get off track here. Word Up is a special place, and I really care a lot about that place. But tell me about what you're going to be presenting.
What I'm going to be presenting there is let me start from the beginning. What I'll be presenting at Word Up is basically a retrospective of my own work. I think it's important as a local author, as a local artist, to sit there and tell people what I'm working on. If anything, just to kickstart the exchange process there. There are always readings of various types, and this is really the first type of show of that nature that I've ever done. I've never really felt the need to sort of explain myself in this way, but being a part of that collective, being a part of that community, which really, for me, spans 2 or 3 neighborhoods, because I live up here, in Inwood, on the last residential block in Manhattan, pretty much, and they're on 165th. It's important to to share what's going on, what you're thinking, what you're doing. It's beyond whatever selfish promotional value it has. I want to reach kids. I want to show them that I love comics for some reasons that they may not know about. I think everybody should do that. Everybody should be a sort of ambassador for the kind of fiction that they believe is important. And hopefully a lot more of that kind of stuff will happen. I also think it's a way of promoting different kinds of literacy. I mean, comic books and their culture and their history have very fascinating stories behind them. And it's just one aspect of what we'd like to do there. I mean, I would love there to be more musical instruction at the store. I think music is a type of, it's not just an art form, it's actually a form of communication and language that's disappearing, because of funding to the schools. To give you an example, if I walked into Juilliard right now, I can't read sheet music. I would be a functionally illiterate person in that building. And it's sad that we don't think that that's a big deal. It is. It's terrifically sad that so many people enjoy music and so few people know about its history. So you have, I don't want to sound like an old man here, but you have children and preteens today, and they don't understand the difference between the intentional artificiality of something like Daft Punk and a pop record that employs a lot of those same, means in order to cut corners. But if music was still being taught in schools the way it should be, they'd be a little more sophisticated about why they like what they like, and they'd understand it better, and I think their lives would be enriched by it. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing this comic book thing as well.
So you'll be talking about Marley Davidson, World War III?
World War III illustrated.
I'll
be showing various animatics.
How long is that one you were just showing?
That's about 4 minutes, but there are others for other projects I'm going to show as well.
Oh, wow. How many are you going to show?
Probably about 4 of them.
Wow.
There was one that was done for Vladek. There was one that was done for another project called Master Ragtooth. So I'm going to talk about the stories behind those. And again, it's getting back to a lot of those themes and a lot of what my hope for the medium is. And that's what I want to, see more of at Word Up, frankly, is more artists, more writers talking about what they do and why they do it. Again, I think it was an incredible gift that Veronica gave to this city, that she propped up a bookstore that doesn't just carry bestsellers, that doesn't just carry a bunch of things that a bunch of critics said people should be reading. Bookstores are incubators as well. People come there and talk to each other about what they're reading, and getting back to the notion of books as technology. We see it happen every week. I work, the weekends there, a shift in the morning, a shift in the afternoon, and you see people pass each other books or ridicule each other for reading something else, whatever. All of that's part of the conversation. We have woefully little of that. as a culture worldwide, we have very few places where people slow down to think and talk about the interior life of the imagination and language. And, there's just not enough poetry in the world. So,
This is true.
Word Up is an outpost for that. So for me, the real reason why I'm doing this show is, as popular as comic books have become, there is still a perception of them that's based on the worst work that's been done in the medium, to put it frankly. People look at it and go, oh, Mickey Mouse, or, some bad superhero comic. And that's crazy. I mean, you wouldn't judge the concept of music by the worst stuff that's on the radio. But it happens to comic books all the time. It's happened all my life. And, the voices that are unfamiliar with the medium, that want to put it down, are louder than ever.